Hansen, the code is 190.
Hello and welcome back to the extreme run of Cold Fear. We've got a bit of a light one this time, even though it's a little lengthy for the number of deaths that we actually do. It's drags on for a little bit. Hopefully I'll be able to keep you entertained throughout. Unfortunately, since I'm getting to the end of the actual LP itself, I'm running out of things to say, especially for the extreme run. The obvious reason for that is that we've already done the competition run and people have already won their prizes. Well, one person's already won their prize. I can't even remember who it is because it's been so long since the last update. I'm really sorry. Or am I? I don't know. But yeah, it's a little strange actually. Well, I don't know about strange, but it's a little hard to get up the enthusiasm to do this particular run. Mainly because I've already done this. The competition run goes all the way to the end, and anyone who was actually interested in kind of following the LP as it went along has probably watched it in one way or another, either live or maybe they caught it up after the fact. I'm not sure, but they know how the game ends and they kind of know what's going on, especially as far as the extreme run goes, because in these I just sort of prattle away like this and I don't really actually show anything off. Then it kind of defeats the purpose of having this extreme run in the first place if I've already done the competition run. But I started, so I might as well finish. It's really one of those things that I should have kind of thought about a little bit more clearly before I actually set down the path of doing the extreme run. I think I mentioned it before, but it's become very evident from here, and in the next episode it's going to be not fun. Let's say that much, because I know that I know how much trouble I had having to fight the end boss in the extreme run. I know it's just going to be as difficult, if not more, or maybe less. I don't know. It's been a while since I've actually played the game. I still have the final run for the extreme run to do. I've done everything else for the normal run. It's just the extreme run has the last video, which is the next one to do yet, and I'm not really looking forward to it because since anyone who watched the competition run will know just how fucking long it takes. Yeah, like I was saying, it's getting the enthusiasm together. This was a bit awkward. It's more a case of, rather than just talking about things in general, I guess I'll bring up some of the things that come up in the video that accompanies this. Mainly Anna herself and some of the artwork that was made for her. She unfortunately was a victim of what you would normally expect from any sort of female companion in a game. She ends up being relatively oversexed and in terms of reality, I guess. You could see the variety in the art styles and her appearances and things and the images that were shown during the normal run. I'm not showing them again here because these videos aren't about putting effort in, it's about me rambling away. But yeah, she got a lot of flowing golden hair and some multicolored different hairs and things. Even her final version of her was had a little bit of a purple tinge to it. And we don't really notice it when you're in the game. It kind of comes off as a very well, it's black. Really, you don't really notice the purple tinge all that much. It's only really in the artwork that it kind of stands out and reminds you that yeah, she does have an odd hair color. Yeah, it seems that they couldn't really, like with most games and I guess most media, where at least popular media anyway, you end up with just a very over-sexualized woman in any sort of game like this. I mean, you only have to look at things like Resident Evil and stuff like that. It's just what happens, and this game is no different. Which is a bit of a shame because there were some of the images that I did actually like, where she looked very Russian. She looked like a normal person, or she wasn't. I wouldn't go as far as saying she was beautiful or anything like that. She just looked like a normal person, and that was pretty cool. I kind of appreciated that they at least kept the artwork for that, or at least considered making her like that. Until of course they eventually just went, nah, you know what? Let's make her slim and give her funny colored hair, and yeah, make her more like a typical game heroine. And of course, I mean, the same thing can be said for Tom, and that he went through the same sort of process, albeit a lot more sort of focused on making him a burly man. And it started off with shaved hair and very square jaw and looking very manly and that sort of thing. It is you'd expect from any hero, I guess. What was an interesting thing about Tom himself, is as he ended up, is that he really is a dick. He's a whiny asshole, and having the hair the way it is, and just I like that it was a step away from how he was in the original versions of how the game was going to be with it, like I was saying, short hair, square jaw, and that kind of thing. He's more of a boyish figure, and he certainly acts like it as well. He tries to be cocky or at least funny, and I'm not sure if that ends up being a problem with the script or a problem with the voice actor, even though problem is kind of pushing it. I think he comes across as an arsehole, and I think the voice actor meant to portray him that way, and he does it really well. To say that, I mean, it could be said that it was kind of a feeling that he isn't a very interesting hero or anything like that because he's not very heroic. I mean, Tom does. He does heroic things, and he does them for the right reasons. He wants to help Anna, but there's no real reason for him to help her. He's just kind of going through the motions, and the only real personality that comes across is him being a dick and making all his funny quips and stuff. It's not. He's kind of a Bruce Willis in a way, but not funny or cool. He's just an arse. Although I guess the same could be said for Bruce Willis, but well, he's not the best hero, but I like him. I like him more than a lot of other heroes because he's got that little personality quirk where he is a dick and he's not overly arsehole-ish. He's not mean to people or anything like that. He's kind of like a normal person. He just kind of forgets himself now and then and says and does things maybe that he shouldn't. But his heart's in the right place. He does try. Not a particularly interesting video. I mean, we've already pretty much seen all this. It's just an almost no-kill run of just doing things that you've already seen. And that's the problem with the extreme run itself, is that it doesn't really have much in the way of variety, sadly. I would hope for more. I hope that I would have died a lot more, or there at least would have been some momentum behind the game to have a lot more kills, but having played through all the normal stuff and then jumping straight into the extreme run after that and finding that I'm not, I mean, I know where everything is, and I'm at an advantage where a lot of things that would normally kill someone on the first run would is things that I'm already aware of, like this. I mean, I'm just looking to see if that guy comes up. A guy does not come up. I'm just mistaking this for another part of the game, but it just kind of it robs some of the interest out of the extreme run, and in a way I guess I should have done the extreme run first before I sat down to actually record anything, so I would have all this in the can before I even started putting up the first video for the LP, and I would know in advance what the kill count was and that kind of thing, and then I could have I would have known in advance that the kill count probably wasn't going to be very high, or at least all that very interesting. Not in the way that Project IGI was, where it's just something that kept going on and on and on and fucking stretched off into infinity. But it's the problem was the number of kills was just so low, and I was avoiding kills left, right, and center, and it was a bad idea to be doing the extreme run in the first place. But as I said at the start of the video, I'm committed, and I'm going to stick all the way to the end.
What the?
And here we've actually got the first kill. The only kill, because I wasn't paying attention. I strayed a little bit too close to the container and the guy jumped out and bought me one. Yeah, it doesn't help when you know the weak points of the enemies, and I'm just playing this. I'm not all that bad at it. I mean, when I was doing the live run, getting to the M boss with only a small number of kills, I think it was in the single digits in the extreme run. I think, or maybe that was the normal test run or hard test run. Because for the extreme run, I didn't have it unlocked in this particular save, so I had to play it through in hard mode as a test, and that took like 4 or 7 hours. But I think on that one I got to the end boss with only something like 6 kills, and then racked up like 200 or some fucking obscene number on the last boss. My own fault, really. Part of the problem that I've had with doing the extreme run is that it was the whole notion of having a competition of some sort. This was the whole reason behind doing it, was to have that sort of kill counter thing that I had in Chaser and had in Project IGI, and was to do the same thing for Cold Fear, but I mean, for all the reasons that I've given before, it just really didn't work out all that well. I should have just not done the extreme run and had the live event that I had eventually ended up doing just for the necessity, really, because this wasn't really going to go anywhere. It wasn't really all that interesting. We weren't going to get a massive number of kills or anything, and to be honest, I had no idea how many times I was going to die in the last boss anyway, so it was just, I don't know. I should have just done a live event from the beginning, or as I said before, just pre-recorded the whole thing and not spaced it out like this. I kind of had no idea what I was really dealing with. Another thing we can talk about is the sizable gap between this update and the previous one. Looking at the sort of the stats page I've got, it's been 4 months and 1 week currently from the point where I last updated this LP, which is a disgusting amount of time. In that period of time, I've had a major project at work, and I changed roles at work. I'm doing a completely different job at work now, and on top of that, I've been playing a lot of other games and that sort of thing. And I know it's not really, it's not like I'm making an excuse for not doing the LP. It was just simply lost interest. And this happens, I guess, to pretty much every LPer at some point. I mean, it's happened to me in the other LPs, but I kind of lose interest for maybe a month, maybe 2, but eventually I'll come back and I'll just race through it right to the end. And this is, I think, the second time, maybe third, for this LP where I've stopped for an extended period of time. But this one, obviously, 4 months is a fucking ridiculous length of time. So I'll be glad to get this one done. And then the next one, obviously, once it's out the door, then that'll kind of be it. But after that, I don't know. I don't watch LPs anymore at all. The only things I kind of really watch are Red Surprise, and that's only once in a while when I remember that they even exist. On 1 or 2 other things, but I generally don't even look at the forum anymore. I just don't have time. And I think doing an LP requires that you have lots of free time, and I just simply don't have it anymore for multiple reasons, and so we end up in a situation where it takes 4 months to come up with an update, and yeah. After this LP, I strongly doubt that I'll do another one, but you never know. I mean, I said the same thing after Project IGI. I didn't think I was ever going to do one again, and then I ended up starting Cold Fear. I'm glad I did. It's not as if I'm I don't think anyone who makes an LP really regrets doing one, unless it's one that no one pays attention to, which is kind of what this one's like. No one really pays attention to this LP, and that's fine. I like putting the effort in, and it comes down to finding out lots of interesting things, and I enjoy doing that. And yeah, so anyway, I'll see you at the next video for the final episode.